Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Deal Reveal Deal Zone edition. That's right. From this point forward, we will be featuring only deals that are located on the JK Deal Zone. What is the JK Deal Zone? It is your 24/7 conveyor belt of off-market deals starting in the greater Cleveland market in Ohio and soon expanding into Florida. And in fact, just this week, I someone reached out to us saying, "Hey, I'd like to help you develop or start the North Carolina market. When are you starting North Carolina?" And so already we're getting traction, and we're very, very excited. But for now, we're in Ohio, starting with the greater Cleveland. Tonight, no exception. Here we go. So we have quite a bit of you on, and nice to see you all new. I see some new people in the room live with us here today. And of course, welcome back, all the returning people. Excellent. So that's what we do here on Thursday nights. We take a few minutes to review a property, sometimes multiple properties. For example, last week we featured, I think we did 5 properties that are all on the JK Deal Zone. And so this is an opportunity to spend a little bit more time to showcase some of the properties that our wholesalers, our sellers, our brokers, our gatekeepers are feeding us through the deal zone. So, with that being said, I do want to remind everybody that we have an upcoming event early August. So now we're under a month away now already to the Epic Bus Tour here in Cleveland, where we invite you to Cleveland. We spend a full weekend together. We show you properties, we show you deals, we show you strategies, we show you the power team member that we work with ourselves here in the Cleveland market. So you can tap into our systems, our teams, so you can go ahead and do your own business. So that's our epic bus tour. And thank you, JK team, you just who just posted the link for you to check out the details and RSVP your spot. So sometimes we have smaller groups and sometimes we have bigger groups. Typically, we like to be around the 2 dozen mark, right? We like that to be semi-intimate, so we don't have this massive hundreds of people on the bus or on the buses. And last week, we revealed to you a contest, a way to potentially win a ticket for the upcoming Epic Bus Tour. But not only that, there are ways for you to unlock the Mathemagics of Real Estate training, which is a nice 50-minute training that I teach you some of the easy math tricks to help you do your due diligence, but your pre-due diligence, I should say, to kind of size up front. Is this a deal or not a deal? Just within a few seconds with a few little tricks. We are also giving away $1,000 to your closing costs on a deal from the deal zone. And so just go to this link here, jkrealestatepartners.com/rewards, and you can see how you can unlock the Mathemagics, $1,000 closing cost credit, our epic blueprint. This is the foundational training, the 3-day training that gets you started and gets you going in US real estate. Of course, it's not in person like the bus tour, but it does give you all the theory around buying in the US as a non-US resident or citizen. Plus, you can also unlock $500 JK credit to any program, any event, anything you want. $500, poof, disappears from anything JK. These are all unlockable, and the details are here at jkrealestatepartners.com/rewards. And for a lucky winner, there will be a free bus tour ticket as well. The draw is on July 31st, so you still have time, a good 2 weeks before we reveal the lucky winner of the epic draw, of the epic real estate bus tour draw here in Cleveland. So those are the little announcements that we have for you. So let's jump into the deal of the week. So as always, we're analyzing these super fast. We're going to see if we have cash flow. We're going to take a look at that cap rate, make sure that it outperforms what you're used to back in your home market. We're going to see if the numbers make sense. And as I said, this is coming from the deal zone. We have a property that was submitted just this week. 3412 East 110th Street in Cleveland, asking $85,000. And your job is to say, is this a deal or no deal? And if you're interested, you no longer have to send us an email at info@jkrealestatepartners.com. You can just go to the JK Deal Zone, sign up, it's free for now, get grandfathered in while it's free, submit your offer, get it accepted by the seller, paperwork all gets automated for you, sent to the title company, and then you can start performing your due diligence. And on the deal zone, once you have an accepted offer, you can just say select inspector. And I saw Joe's on the call again today. You can say, hey, I want Joe because I met him at the bus tour. So you get your property under contract, you assign Joe to the property. He will coordinate and you'll coordinate with him the best time and way to get access to the property. And your due diligence, happens just like that, all centralized within the JK Deal Zone. So, yes, you can send us an email, but this is now the archaic way to do it. Now you can go straight to jkdealzone.com and go check out the properties that have sold, the properties that are most viewed. Soon we're going to be having more and more articles. For example, Discover the Future of U.S. Real Estate with JK Real Estate Partners. That's already there. It's this quick 2-minute read. You can read up on JK. You can read up on the Epic Bus Tour. It's all in here. Or you can just click on the bus tour because the bus tour is basically a sponsor of the Deal Zone. So, with that being said, today's property, we are looking to buy a property. So let's go into buy. And you'll see that we have over a dozen properties here available for sale. And today we are going to go to this one. This is the new one. So $85,000. The deal zone already estimates the cap rate for this property to be above 10. So you know that this is a solid deal and it's a 3-2. So it's most likely, and we'll confirm, but it's most likely a single family home. So a double digit cap in a single family home space is very strong cap rate for a single family home. So let's go take a look at the deals here. First of all, on the deal zone, I want to remind you that deals can be verified, not verified, or in verification. And so just know that if it does say verified here, it means that the seller provided all the proof for income and expenses for the property. And so in financial details here, you will see sewer, water, electricity, gas, trash, and other expenses, property tax, insurance, management fees, maintenance, and HOAs. If they provide proof of all these expenses and proof of the income, for example, a lease, then we will verify it all for you and the property will be verified. Until then, it remains not verified or in verification. We here at the JK Deal Zone, we take time to communicate with the people. Say, okay, you listed a property, that's fantastic. We noticed that you didn't provide leases and maybe proof of insurance, proof of insurance premium. Just submit those, and we'll be able to verify your property. Obviously, we incentivize our sellers to provide all the information so that they get that verified tag because that verified tag is going to reassure a lot of buyers, yes, but don't mean that doesn't mean that not there's no deals in the not verified. It just means what it means. And maybe for you that's your niche. It's to go into the non-verified and you will complete your own due diligence. We're trying as much as we can up front for you, but at the end of the day, you still have to do your due diligence, okay? So, what do we have? Let's go to the beginning here. We have a 3-2, basically 1,600 square foot, tenanted, apparently. The average market rent for a 4-bedroom is 1558. That's according to the CMHA. That's Section 8 rental rates for a 4-bedroom. Now, interesting that they're saying this when the property itself is a 3-bedroom. So I'm thinking there might be an opportunity here to convert it to a 4-bedroom, because why else would they say that? And it can also be turned into a duplex. Okay, obviously there's going to be extra costs involved if we do that. So I'm going to look at this property as is, as a single family home, 3-2. We have some of the details here. It's non-furnished. There are videos and an inspection report available, and it can be converted to a duplex, but it's a single currently. Okay. So with that being said, we go to our financials. And since it is non-verified, these expenses are estimates. They're algorithmic estimates so that we're making sure that we're not forgetting some of these expenses along the way. Water, sewer, gas, electric, trash, other property taxes. Property taxes, we do go into county records for you to make sure that these are the accurate property tax amounts for the property. Insurance management is defaulted at 10% of the gross income unless the seller provides proof of otherwise. If they, for example, provide a proof that their management agreement's at 8%, well, then we will override the default estimation. Same thing for maintenance and repairs. Maintenance and repairs are 10% of the square footage monthly. Okay. So the larger the property, the more we're accounting in repairs and maintenance. And this is one big thing that differentiates the deal zone from the wholesalers out there, heck, even from the MLS or from properties that are on market with realtors. We are not hiding anything. In fact, we are over disclaiming in the sense that, we're even putting an other budget just in case. We're putting a nice, healthy repairs and maintenance budget. We're putting the management fee. And a lot of people completely remove these three categories in their disclosures of numbers. And look at this. We are budgeting over $325 a month above what other people normally market their properties for. And even with that big, healthy budget, we are still above a 10 cap. And I have much more confidence in this 10.3 cap than a 15 cap by someone else. Okay. So that's one big thing. Plus, this is a multifamily. And so most likely electric and gas is paid by the tenants. Typically, water sewer is paid by the owner, but electric and gas is paid by the tenant, typically. But they haven't provided proof that that's the case. And so until they provide proof, we are going to pad that budget and we're going to put it in there because I don't know. Nobody knows right now until they provide proof. And once they provide proof, then we can override it and put it zero and off we go. The cap rate will increase. So that being said, there's also a rehab budget here of $10,000. Now, unfortunately, there are limited pictures for this property. This is something that the Deal Zone team is already working to push and incentivize the seller to get more pictures for this property because all we're running off of right now is this rehab budget of $10,000. So if we're paying $85,000 and our rehab is $10,000, that means we're all in for $95,000 on a single family home. The cap rate is 10.3. The cap rate here does include the rehab. Okay. So it takes your NOI and it divides it by the total project cost, which is the purchase price and the rehab budget. So you take your NOI, which is about 10,000 a year, divide it by 95,000 and you get 10.3. And there we go. That is the deal zone for today. If you have any questions, shoot. Otherwise, keep looking in. If this is a property that you're interested in, take a look. Maybe check a few times a week to see if this converts back to verified, or go in and make an offer. Right? It's as simple as this. You go in here. Once you have a profile, what offer do you want to put? What's the reason for buying? Put in your proof of funds, and you submit, and off you go. Having said that, currently the Deal Zone is a cash only platform as of today. That's just because we want to work all of our bugs on a smaller scale with more simpler systems and before we put in a big variable like financing. But it's already built to allow for financing. And we already have a lineup of banks and loan brokers who want to finance your deals. We just need to see some good traction on the deal zone. We want to make sure all the flow and all the systems are working nicely before we add that level of complexity into the deal. But it is coming. Okay. But for now, cash only. And by the way, if you're in the all you can learn or in the, in the fast pass, or if you've had any conversations within the group, this is a question that comes around often. Do we buy cash? Do we buy with financing? What's the best way? What's better? And my answer is if you have the cash, I say it's better to buy cash for many reasons. There are costs attached to financing. Typically, they range to about $8,000 just in costs to underwrite and close a deal with financing. And then you just get a better purchase price when you buy cash. So that property is asking 85. Your cash offer could be 65. Whereas if you go in with financing, you might have to offer 80, 85, maybe 90 to get the attention of that seller. And so just by virtue of you coming in cash, the sellers are much more motivated and flexible because they know they don't have the appraisal condition, they don't have the financing condition, and they know it won't take 30 to 45 days to close. And they need to move their inventory. So, for all those reasons, when you buy cash, you typically save at least $20,000 on a deal. And if your deal is a $95,000 deal, let's say a $100,000 deal, and you're saving 20,000 on it, that's buying with 20% discount right off the rip. And so for that reason, if you have the cash, if you have that the liquidity, or if you have access to partners and or family, or rich Uncle Sam or rich Uncle Joe, whatever, you can save a lot of money by avoiding financing altogether. Having said that, I understand that's not everyone's situation when they get started. It certainly wasn't ours. And so you do what you have to do to buy that first or that second or that third or that fifth. But if you're in a position now, for whatever reason, to buy cash, I do recommend to get the first done cash and learn from there, and then see if you want to even juggle two, three, four, five, 10 projects at the same time, because that comes with that luxury comes different levels of problems, and you might be up for that challenge, you might not be, and that's all fine. Everyone has their own pace and their own direction for their investing. So I don't see any questions. I see a lot of people. I don't see any questions. I guess the deal zone's answering most of them for you, which is the point. So with that being said, that's our deal for today. If you have any questions, submit an inquiry with the deal zone, and we will take it from there. We will be your in between between you and the seller. So with that being said, I'm just going to take a couple more minutes to dive a little bit deeper into the upcoming Epic Bus Tour, because there still are some spots available. And I just want to make sure you understand that if you come to Cleveland, you're going to get to know Cleveland. You're going to get to know the neighborhoods, the different suburbs, the different cities, and the strategies for each one of these areas, because they do differ tremendously between investing in the hood or investing in the very trendy Ohio City. You're not going to do the same thing in those two areas. You can be profitable in both areas, but you're gonna behave, and you're gonna put different strategies in place. So we're going to show you where and how to find those deals, how to evaluate them, how to finance them, because we will be bringing two lending sources for you. One direct bank. The owner of a bank is going to be coming here. A local bank is going to come and discuss to you two other programs to finance deals. Even if you have no U.S. credit, no U.S. income, shit, you don't even need any Canadian income or credit. They just need to know you exist. And then we're going to bring a loan broker who has access to dozens of other banks that can work with us that are not local to Cleveland. So many different options to finance your deals. You're going to meet not only the bankers and the loan brokers, you're going to meet Joe, who's on the call, property inspector. You're going to meet a property manager, actually two property managers, one for short term, one for long term. You're going to meet some contractors, a contracting team. You're going to meet an insurance broker. You're going to meet two realtors, because depending on where you invest in Cleveland, you want maybe someone more specialized in certain areas. So we're bringing all these people to you and more, so that you have the whole power team built into one. Basically, we want to show you what we've been doing for the last 10 years, and you can jump in year one where we are now 10 years later. So that's what we're going to do. Cleveland, if you didn't know, is in the top 10 best cities to invest in, according to Forbes magazine. So we want to show that to you with the Epic Bus Tour. It is a complete 2 days where we include breakfast, lunch, and snacks, and it's August 9th and 10th. If 2 days isn't enough for you, and if you're interested in maybe larger deals, the premium ticket might be more of interest to you, where we add in a half day on the Friday. All of your suppers are also included, because you will be eating with Janie, myself, and select members of our power team, and we'll have extra mastermind time and extra goodies for you during the event and also after the event. So, and we just decided to add back in accommodations. So, for the premium ticket holders, you will also have your weekend in one of our Airbnbs here in the Cleveland market. So, you don't have to worry about hotel or accommodations or any of that. So, the true value for a blueprint and everything we're bringing is well over $4,000, but that's not what you charge, and that's not what we charge. It's not what you'll pay. And in fact, not only that, but we have four bonuses for you when you join the Epic Bus Tour, including our Ultimate Real Estate Calculator, our Quick Start Boot Camp, So that's basically accountability weeks after the bus tour to make sure that you're finding deals and you're finding money for those deals. Our interactive ebook, our roadmap to your first property, and our 9 powers of real estate training that explains to you why real estate is so powerful, even compared to other asset classes and other investment vehicles. Why real estate? It has 9 powers that a lot of other asset classes simply do not have. And that's what allows you to get a 64x times on your money. And so I go into that with the mathematics of real estate. So if you've seen that training, you know what I mean. Otherwise, make sure you sign up to the rewards contest because you have a chance. You will get that's the first unlockable is that training. So I don't want to confuse you too much with different directions here, but if you would like to be part of the bus tour, it's $777. This is the regular standard admission ticket. Your second ticket is 50% off if you have a partner or a spouse. You can go to this QR code if you scan it right now, or you can go to that URL, jkrealestatepartners.com/bus tour. And JK team, I'm sure you've already dropped the link to the bus tour that they can just click on from the live chat here if you're joining us live tonight. So that's it. I'll remind you of this contest, jkrealestatepartners.com/rewards, for you to get thousands of dollars in giveaway. Very, very easy to get a couple $1,000 in giveaways. So just go there, read up on the details, and we are looking forward to giving you those rewards and giving you the chance to win your ticket to the next Epic Bus Tour here in Cleveland.
Being involved with Jake.
Just a few words for some people who have attended the bus tour in the past, and then I will let you have a most wonderful evening.
Being involved with JK, it really took out a lot of the fear elements. It helped give confidence. A support group behind you that when you stalled, there was always someone there to kind of move you forward and help you get to the next step. So really having that community piece and having that support group and the team members all around you to just help you feel confident and comfortable to take those steps. The first one's the hardest, the second one gets easier, the third one gets easier. And sometimes a lot of people stall before even making that first step. Just knowing that there's people there that have done it that can say to you, yes, you're on the right track. That's been huge for me. As an out-of-state investor, when you start to make relationships over the phone, and so you just have a name and a voice, but you don't really get to put a face and make those contacts. Coming here and getting to meet a lot of the people who've always just been a name and a voice, as well as people that you would have never met otherwise, it creates just so much more of a connection and opportunities for growth and development and just moving forward and feeling more as that feeling of a team. Your power team is essential, especially as an out-of-state investor. And so it's really kind of opened my eyes to some more opportunities and different properties. So when I go home, it's just gonna be offers, offers, offers. JK.